Now at 11, more and more Oregon families are suffering from the flu.
Christian got it on the 21st, then Jacob got it the 23rd, then I got it the 26th.
Now 2 children have died from it.
Polk County detectives have a disturbing case of abuse on their hands. What authorities say a couple of human rights activists did to a teen girl.
An alert you should hear if you're planning a trip to Mexico. The areas Americans are being told to avoid.
Dirty needles are piling up on Portland streets.
When was the last time you shot up?
Earlier today. Is anyone charged with cleaning up the problem?
Our top story tonight, a disturbing case of child abuse. Police say a teen girl was forced into sex acts and tortured.
And detectives say 2 human rights activists are to blame. KGW's Mike Benner is just back from Polk County, where he spoke with investigators and neighbors. And Mike, this is troubling.
It certainly is, Joe. In fact, some of the allegations are so troubling, we're not sharing them on TV. What's laid out in these court documents right here make me as a parent sick to my stomach. It's a lot for even the most seasoned veterans in law enforcement.
It's a little disturbing.
Disturbing is how detectives are describing the abuse that's alleged to have happened at 2 adjoining properties in rural Falls City.
You just really don't know people. You never know what's going on in a house down the road from you.
59-year-old Matthew McDaniel is accused of tying up a teen girl and beating her until she performed sex acts on him. McDaniel's wife, 39-year-old Michu Uwayu, is suspected of torturing the teen with melted plastic and hot metal. Authorities say the woman also tied up the teen and left her in the garage for days.
Once we got notified of the allegations, the investigation revealed that it's been going on for quite a few years.
The accusations come as a bit of a surprise to the suspect's neighbors.
They are nice. They'll come over and bring us vegetables and stuff. They for the most part, in the public's view, they seem like these real nice people.
Just look at the vehicles parked at one of the properties. McDaniel and Uwayu are human rights activists for the Aka people, an indigenous tribe from the mountains of Thailand.
These folks were supposed to be activists who help people who were being taken advantage of and treated poorly. And then come to find out they're the ones that are treating people the same way.
A claim refuted by this man who showed up at the couple's home. At the very least, he appears to be a supporter, and he had this to say about the disturbing allegations.
Not really.
Not disturbing.
At the trial, that will all be cleared up.
That man you saw right there refused to identify himself. What we do know is that the couple is due back in court in March. Back to you.
Mike, thank you. This story just into the newsroom. A fire in Vancouver shot flames high into the air tonight. This is at the Pacific Products Rock Quarry on 1st Street. Fire officials tell us it was a trailer that serves as an office that caught fire. Thankfully, no employees were inside. The fire marshal is now trying to determine what started it.
New tonight, a close call in Hillsboro when a large tree came down and hit a school bus with 30 elementary school students inside. This happened at First and Walnut. Police say no one was seriously hurt, but the branches did break a few bus windows. Another school bus came to pick up the kids and drop them off at home. Crews were still out late tonight clearing the debris and fixing power lines. And take a look at this photo. This comes to us from Clackamas Fire. A 60 to 80 foot tree fell down across Rose Street in Milwaukee today, taking down power lines and then landing on a car. The fire department says no one was hurt, and PGE was on the scene to fix the power lines.
In a developing story tonight, a pedestrian who was run down in a Northeast Portland street is out of the hospital, but the driver is still out there. The victim's family wants justice. You might remember the surveillance video showing 27-year-old Vanessa Carumbulas walking across the street. A minivan comes to a stop. They appear to exchange words. Then the driver turns the wheel and runs her over. Vanessa's brother Jason says she's recovering but has a long road ahead. Police found the minivan shortly after this incident but have not arrested the driver.
It's hard for me to cope with that, knowing that there's a small chance that maybe somehow he might slide and not pay for that. I won't rest easy the rest of my life, I don't think.
Portland police are still trying to identify the driver. If you have any information on who was behind the wheel of this van, police would like to hear from you.
In just the last month, the flu has claimed the lives of 2 children in Oregon. State health officials aren't saying much about the young victims, but they want parents to take the virus very seriously. KGW's Catherine Cook spoke with the director at the Oregon Health Authority. She's live with more. Catherine.
Laurel, they say this could be the worst year for the flu since 2009, when 5 Oregon children died. Parents want to know how symptoms of the flu differ from those of, say, just a bad cold. One family in Lebanon knows firsthand. In Lebanon, Jamie Frazier and 4 of her kids all got the flu this winter. 2 different strains of it, even after getting flu shots.
Christian got it on the 21st, then Jacob got it the 23rd, then I got it the 26th.
Jamie says just getting out of bed was painful for everyone. They suffered from headaches, body aches, coughing, sore throat, and fever.
Christmas consisted of the ones who were sick wearing surgical masks to open their presents, and then pretty much going back and laying in all of our beds again.
The Fraziers are on the mend now, but over the last month, 2 kids in Oregon have died from the flu. The Oregon Health Authority says one child was under the age of 5, the other under age 10. They aren't releasing which counties they lived in.
And I think it serves as a very somber reminder that flu can be serious.
Dr. Ann Thomas is with the state's Public Health Division. She believes flu shots are still important and may decrease the severity of symptoms and the chances of dying from the flu.
Flu has really taken off, but I think we're going to still see it for another month or 2 here in Oregon, so it's not too late to get a vaccine if you haven't already gotten one.
KGW viewers wanted us to ask what symptoms to watch out for and when they mean taking your kids to the hospital.
Certainly, if there's a persistent fever, certainly in a younger child, someone under the age of 2, if there's a high fever over 101, that's a time to at least perhaps make contact with your provider.
Dr. Thomas says also watch out for rapid breathing, difficulty breathing, or if the child is inconsolable or dehydrated. And the only way to know for sure if your child has the flu is to get them tested. Just another reason to take them to the doctor if you are on the fence about symptoms. Back to you.
Catherine, thanks.
In California, search and rescue crews were out today with cadaver dogs looking for the 43 people missing after Tuesday's mudslide.
The names of the 17 people killed in those slides were also released tonight. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers arrived today to help clean up the tsunami-like aftermath. No one's been found since yesterday. The powerful slide took out 65 homes and damaged nearly 450. One Montecito resident described what the powerful slide was like as it roared through.
People think of water like a river. You wouldn't last 2 seconds. It's a blender of huge 50-foot logs and 5-foot by 5-foot boulders grinding.
The Santa Barbara County Sheriff says it remains an active search and rescue mission.
The slides in California came from areas where wildfires had burned off vegetation, but experts say it's a different situation in the Columbia River Gorge. A Portland State University geologist says a major slide likely won't happen there for years. Scott Burns says that's because the hills in California had small trees with shallow roots. The gorge has much larger ones with deeper roots. Now, even though the trees burned away, the roots will stay intact for the next 4 or 5 years, which will keep things stable, at least short term.
We for sure are going to see some smaller ones, maybe some rock fall, but then within time, in the next couple of years, as the root systems disintegrate, we're going to see maybe some bigger ones.
Burns points to the major 1996 landslides in the gorge. They happened 5 years after the 1991 wildfires that swept through that same area. Friends and family are hoping you'll keep an eye out for a missing Air National Guardsman. Marty Nance hasn't been seen since Saturday. He didn't show up for a guard drill on Sunday, the first time he's missed one in 30 years. The only sign of him is his car, which was found at Southeast 17th and Miller in the Selwood neighborhood. Nance is semi-retired and had been driving for Lyft recently. If you know where he might be, call police. The public will have the chance to celebrate the life and legacy of former Mayor Vera Katz later this month.
A public tribute will be held at the Portland Art Museum on January 28th. It starts at 2 p.m. Katz first entered politics in the 1970s, becoming one of the first women in the state legislature. She eventually became Oregon's first female Speaker of the House and went on to serve 3 terms as Portland's mayor. Katz died last month at the age of 84 after battling cancer and leukemia.
Next from the night team, the number of used needles on Portland streets has more than quadrupled in just 4 years. Meet the people who are trying to keep up with cleaning them up.
And new warnings about a popular tourist destination while the State Department is comparing Mexico to the Middle East.
Plus, there's no business like snow business. How businesses on Mount Hood are coping with the ups and downs of this roller coaster ski season.
Well, the roller coaster is on the way up right now because we have a winter weather advisory in the Cascades. Wait to see how much new snow Timberline has had so far. It's still snowing up there. Still some scattered showers in the valley, but the weekend looks pretty great.